There's a legend round here. A killer buried, but not dead. A curse on Crystal Lake. A death curse. Jason Voorhees' curse. They say he died as a boy, but he keeps coming back. Few have seen him and lived. Some have even tried to stop him. No one can.
What's going on, everybody? So many people have tried to stop me, and I just don't quit, even if I got one subscriber. Oh, they were talking about Jason, not me? Oh, that's fine. Either way, here I am, back again, the Friday the 13th redo review series. This has been a blast. Went through 6 of these bad boys so far. Now we're on to part 7, The New Blood. This is not a personal favorite of mine at all. But once again, upon rewatch, had a good enough time with it for sure. And I could never do these alone. I mean, I could, but they wouldn't be that good. You know, me just talking isn't that exciting. But when you got guests on, people tune in to hear the banter. And tonight we got 2 guests joining me. We have Davey, Mother Truckin' Death Ray, right there. What's up, buddy?
What's happening, everyone?
Oh,
how you guys doing?
There he is. He's horny already. Let's go. And we also have the Brett Man, half or 1/3 of Good Real Hunting down below, right there.
Did
What's up, buddy?
Say horny?
Horny. Yes, they did. They did.
Oh, what's going on, everybody?
What is going on? This is, like I said, not a personal favorite of mine, but I mean, it's not one that I'm going to skip if I'm marathoning the franchise by any means.
For someone that's not a fan, Shirley does have a Friday the 13th Parsavin Jason mask right behind them.
I do. Purchased locally, by the way. So, got to support the local artists around me. So, that's where I got that from. And I had to have, I like the mask. I like the mask a lot. There's just a lot of other things in this movie that I don't really care for that much. And I'm sure we're going to talk about them tonight, like we always do. Let me see real quick. This one was directed by John Carl Buechler. Obviously, did a fantastic job keeping, Jason, all the cuts, everything in the design of Jason. So props to him. We got Harry Manfredini back, which, by the way, I just watched a new horror movie that came out, very low budget, Morgan the Killer Doll, and it was not good by any means. But then I got to the credits, and it said music by Harry Manfredini, and I was like, this is where he's at now. This is where the Friday the 13th legend is at right now, making music for this. And, yeah.
Well, maybe if the Friday the 13th franchise would get their heads out of their asses and actually produce a Friday the 13th in the theater, maybe he could be doing that.
Yeah. So, maybe. Knowing them, they'd probably get somebody else to do the music, maybe nobody's ever heard of, and people would hate it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes. Lar Park Lincoln, obviously R.I.P., passed away not that long ago, unfortunately. She was fantastic in this movie as Tina. We get Kane Hodder's first portrayal as Jason, Mother Truckin' Voorhees, and we also get Terry Kaiser, the guy from Weekend at Bernie's. You know what I mean? The dead guy.
Love it.
So
Love it.
We get that. Let me pull up the... Is that it? No, that's on it. This is it. The stat line for this movie goes, budget $2.8 million, grossed $19.2 million, so not knocking it out of the ballpark or anything, but still a lot for a Friday the 13th film. The critics on Rotten Tomatoes, not that Rotten Tomatoes is the one-all, be-all, 33%, audience of 37%, so not a very well-received movie.
That's brutal.
Criminal.
No. Criminal is part 3 with like the 9%.
I know. Trust me, that's Criminal too.
That is just
well. It's really weird too. It's like the way that if you look at modern horror movies on Rotten Tomatoes, they do very, very well. So I don't know how they aggregate for these older films.
Yeah.
But it's bizarre to me that most modern horror films get like 80% but all of the movies that came out in the 70s and 80s are like,
30s.
yeah, you're lucky if you like any movie. If you look at the Halloween franchise, like anyone that's not the first one is like, you're lucky if it has, 20%. It's ridiculous.
We're not talking Halloween, but that is crazy how the first one is so high and then the second one just drops down so significantly. It's insane.
Yeah.
And obviously the quality is there, so I don't understand, but it is what it is. But we're not talking that tonight. We're talking Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Let me say hello real quick to see who's in the chat hanging out with us tonight. We got Chester Franklin Jr. What's up? The other horror channel. We got JG Michael. Davey notified me of this episode. Can't wait to listen. Well, thanks for coming over and hanging out. Brad Underwood, what's going on? Ashton, Dean Renner, what's going on? Hope the channel's doing well, my friend. We have Adrian James, what's going on? Eli Cortez, always a pleasure, my man. Rosie, my darling, some guy named Davey Deathray. We like him a little bit around here. Jason from Backtrack Cinema. What's up, Jason? Let's see. Everyone's chatting. Billy Judd, what's going on? Blu-ray Addict, Brooke. Everyone stabbed that like button. Appreciate that, as always. Fight the Good Fight, what's going on? Antonis, how are you? Good to see you. A lot of chatting amongst yourselves. I like it. Okay, anybody else pops in? I will. Aaron Click, what's going on, buddy? All right, so we know how these things go. We talk about the good, we talk about the bad, and then we go our final judgment. We're fair on this channel, even if we don't like the movies that much. Just saying. So let's start.
Baby, are you going to be fair up there?
I'm gonna be so fair.
Are you going to be Jason Lives fair, or are you going to be the final chapter fair?
You mean the world champion heavyweight?
Oh, get the fuck out! Okay, I'm done with
champion
this.
Of all.
I tried to be on my best behavior. I can't.
He's done.
I'm going to be very fair. I'm going to be very fair on this one.
I know. We talked,
so we're going to kick it off, as always, with the good of Part 7, The New Blood, and we will just go round and round. So, Davey, I know you don't really like this movie that much, but what is good about The New Blood?
Yeah, I mean, I think the movie there's a lot of good there, and it certainly could have been better, that's for sure. I mean, starting off with the good, that picture that you just showed, it's I think the best look that Jason's had. I love the body damage, seeing the ribs and seeing the spine. You even see the kneecaps. When I was a kid and I first saw these movies, I saw them on the USA Network, so they were edited for television, and this was my favorite one as a kid. I loved, I was into the X-Men and all that, so I loved the idea of somebody with telekinetic superpowers fighting Jason, and this was just such an exciting movie to watch as a kid. I think it's a perfect introduction to Jason Voorhees and the kind of paint by numbers Friday the 13th film experience. I think, Lar Park Lincoln, you had mentioned her. I think for the most part, she's really damn solid here. Her acting when she's using her powers and all that kind of stuff, really great, use of facial acting to convey what's going on. There's also the confusion as she's doesn't really have control of everything. And then as the movie goes on and she's having to fight Jason, she seems to get better and better as she goes. So I think that's pretty dang good. I think the friend group, I'm going to go ahead and put them in the good here as well, because there's a nice mix of different kinds of people here and different personalities. So I really dig that as well. And, this last time I watched the movie, even though Dr. Cruz is a villain of the piece, I really enjoyed, without him there, the movie doesn't really move the way that, it probably seems how is this movie different? And I think the whole, not just the telekinetic thing, but bringing in Dr. Cruz, I think is a really positive part of the film as well. I don't think I'm missing anything else. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed. Shout out to JG Michael. He had sent me the edit with the original death footage in there, the VHS stuff edited in. And even though the quality of the footage isn't that great, the person that did the edit does such a smooth job. It's a really easy to watch experience. And certain kills are embellished a lot more. With some of them, you only get like maybe another second or two, really. But I think that if you're able to watch that cut, for those of you in the chat, if you've never seen it, give it a watch, because I think it definitely puts the kills in the good category as well. But if we're talking theatrical version, I don't know if I can include them here, unfortunately.
That's a good point. Hey, Brett, I think so far Davey's doing a good job. He's not being mean at all. So
not yet.
Not yet. Brett, what do you think? What do you think is good about the New Blood?
Me, like Davey said, I definitely love the look of Jason. Definitely one of the most badass looking Jasons in the entire Friday the 13th franchise. Kane Hodder definitely puts his name up there in like I wouldn't say a Mount Rushmore, because there's only like a select few of Friday the 13th. So if we did like a mini Mount Rushmore, Kane Hodder will be on that list. And it all starts with this one. Does a great job. And like Davey, you were talking about the look of Jason. I love just again like the details of it, kind of like you were mentioning about like the damage and all that, but just the attention to detail, not even missing a single injury from the previous Friday the 13th movies. So I love the direction they took on that. And of course, to me, like the chain and the spine always gives me like this is a Jason Voorhees you just do not want to mess with. Tina, I love Tina, of course. I think just what's best about her and what Laura Park Lincoln did in that particular character with Tina is to show off her innocence of just someone that's just like you can't help but to feel sympathy for. Just she's been through a tough life. She drowned her dad, even though she said I hate her. I was like, I hate you, Daddy. Daddy, no. Yeah, that could get cleaned up a little bit, but you still feel bad for her because she can't control her powers like back then. And then as the movie progresses and then she controls her powers, you absolutely love her. At least I do. I know a lot of people for some reason don't like her. Still trying to figure it out. Let me know in the chat over there why you do not like Tina, please. And another thing I'll throw in there as well is the character of Melissa, played by, I got her name, Susan Jennifer Sullivan, who plays Melissa. I think does not get talked about enough in this franchise for just being an absolute bitch. And because I think she's fantastic to hate, and she does her job well to make you hate her. And she got her. Well, Jason asked her a question and then killed her. But yeah, just that whole death with the axe to the face and just yeeting her across the room was just perfect justice to that type of character. So I loved it. Anything Melissa in this movie, I loved.
Real quick, JG Michael with a $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says thank you for the shout out, Davey.
Of course, man.
It's good stuff, man. First and foremost, like you both said, Jason's look is fantastic. Is Kane Hodder my favorite Jason? No, but I think this might be the best look that he's done in the 4 movies that he was in, for sure. Every little detail, continuing the continuity from the beginning when he's from all the injuries to this movie. I mean, that took some time to go through everything. Obviously, a lot of shit happened to Jason, and he looks fantastic. At least the gloves are gone. I mean, they're there, but they kind of rotted away to his fingers. So, good job for the decay of the gloves. Appreciate that very much. That was Vincent DeSanti didn't have much bad things to say, but that was one. The gloves needed to go, and he is correct. So, good thing they went. I love the spine, the chain. He looks like a damn rapper from like the 80s. You know what I mean? He's ready to go. That's what he is. He's brutal, like you said, Brett. This is one Jason you don't want to mess with at all because he's going to kill you. Plenty of kills in the movie. Obviously, a good thing. Kills are very important when it comes to Friday the 13th, and that may come back to haunt this movie in the bad as well. Just saying. Like Davey said, the unedited parts. Whew, there's freaking brutal ass kills. That's some like Terrifier level gore shit in there. And MPAA back then wasn't having it like they are now. So
they
had to get rid of it. So especially I was waiting for the sleeping bag kill to come around, which Blu-ray Addict just says is one of the best kills in the franchise. But the one that they took out,
oh my goodness,
was crazy, man. Like that was
Yeah.
insane. I mean, I heard it was a couple whacks. That was a lot of
Yeah,
whacks.
it was like what, Davey, 6 or 7 whacks, like 6 times.
It's yeah.
It was.
But and then there's like an explosion. There's like like just like a bomb of gore that goes off in that bag.
It's like
Yeah.
a Mortal Kombat fatality combo move right there, like up, down, square, triangle, left, right.
Yes. Well, and then a big one that's a lot of them have embellished footage, but Maddie, the beautiful like auburn hair girl with the amazing rack, that's something I forgot to mention in the good. The nudity is very good in this movie.
Yes.
There's like Maddie is absolutely smoking. The girl Sandra who goes swimming, it's like a nice
Oh,
homage
yeah.
to Jaws. Jaws
Yeah.
is celebrating its 50th anniversary here in a couple days, and very like reminiscent of that, the shot from underneath in the lake there. But yeah, Maddie's kill is totally different in the edited or unedited version. So if you watch that version, you'll find the way that Jason deals with David, the greaser guy, the stoner guy, is completely different. And the way he kills Maddie is they shot a whole brand new scene in the version that we're used to seeing. So yeah, it's I guess we can talk a little bit more about that on the bad, but I just wanted to mention that and mention the nudity. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Nudity's always a good thing. Always a good thing. Love it.
They pull it off very well here.
Oh
They
yeah, and another good kill too is and like me, Brad, and Chris, we always like laugh at this one. They laugh at me because I try and like replicate the sound. It's the party horn kill.
Oh yeah,
Just Jason goes. Ear.
Yeah, it's the party. It's like I don't know if this one doesn't sound like this, but I can do the little like kind of thing.
Damn, that's pretty
down
good.
there. Thank you.
But no, I just like we always laugh at that thing every time, just because they just imagine me just trying to do the voiceover, like acting like ear, like it's just it's great. But yeah, it's just a shame that we didn't get like this movie. And I told Davey this in a text. And I don't mind to say it now because it's not going to reflect the score later. But if the MPAA just stayed in their damn lane and let Friday the 13th be Friday the 13th, this movie would be in my top 3 Friday the 13th movies in the entire franchise.
Yeah, it would be much higher for me for sure. I don't know if it would crack top 3, but
no.
But yeah, it would be much higher. I think I've got it kind of in the back third of my ranking right now, but certainly better than Jason X, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, certainly better than those for sure.
We're done. Okay. I guess. I mean, Tina is good, obviously, as a final girl, but I mean, then again, she has superpowers, so it's kind of cheating, really. But she's not one of my favorites in the franchise. I don't even know if she's in the top half, to be honest. She's fine. I think her chemistry with Nick is good, even though I think they didn't like each other, if I'm not mistaken, behind the scenes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like they were just okay.
And he's and my boy's he's gay, which isn't a problem, but he had to play the straight guy, so he did a good job. He did a really good job, and he saw a pink elephant in the woods, so good for him.
I'm good.
Brett's dead.
Yeah, Brett's kill is gonna have to be edited by the MPAA as well here.
No, don't you not fucking cut that out. Sorry, just eliminate without the wrong pipe.
Just
Nick does have a good look. He is, man, the guy, he looks like Superman. He straight up reminds me of Christopher Reeve. The Superman that I grew up with. He's just got that very, very handsome, like chiseled jaw and everything. Yeah, their chemistry is okay. Oddly enough, you guys noticed that in that cut with the everything edited put back in, I think their relationship is even more awkward in that cut. I think it's actually better in the cut that we got. Just their the way they put their chemistry on screen is a lot better than one would think, especially since they didn't really get along.
Ashton, there you go, Brett. Tina is forgettable like the movie.
Ooh, ouch.
No, you're talking about Renee from Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, jeez.
That's next week, and she is awful. Yeah, she's pretty bad. Nobody watches that movie for Rennie. But people do watch this movie for generic Carrie. So that's.
Hey. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm just.
You mean Jean Grey? That's what I'm. She's Jean Grey. She's not Carrie.
Wolverine, what are you doing here? Nothing.
Yeah, crying over a picture of Tina.
Kicking Jason's ass. Yeah, so that, and then like Davey said, Dr. Cruz, Bad News Cruz, I don't know if the movie would have been the same without him. Really, he adds another dimension, like you said, to keep this movie going along. If he wasn't there, it basically would have been kind of like any other Friday the 13th movie, really, just killing some kids at a cabin. This one at least added another element, another layer on top of it. Tina had to deal with Jason plus Dr. Cruz at the same time, so I think that was a good added element to this movie as well.
Yeah, and Jason is a good person too. He actually got a weed machine, and he took out the bad weed in this film, and that is Dr. Cruz.
He did. Herbert says, I feel like an 11-year-old kid again when I was in theaters every time I see the Tina and Jason face off. Yeah. I wasn't even born when this movie came out, so I did not see it in theaters. So.
Yeah, another positive too is just taking off the mask, like seeing Jason all decayed. His look at the end of the movie, absolutely fantastic too. This is how fair I'm going to be. I think it's better than the final chapter without the mask on. Because I thought that's how well of a job they did, again, because the attention to detail with the injuries that are still there with the eye and everything. And plus, if you looked at that, you're dead. Like, you just get so scared, you're just going to sit there just so still, you're going to die. Like, that's all I got to say. But.
Yeah, and the stunt work is really good here, too. I mean, obviously, the fire is
really good,
and it's amazing, and everyone knows the backstory with Kane's near-death experience when he was younger with the fire, so it's amazing that he steps back in there. Also, like when he jumps through the window in the kitchen of the one cabin, that's just a great, Jason loves jumping through windows and throwing people through windows. That's a really remarkable, I love that. Oh, and then one little moment that's kind of almost like a Michael Myers-ish moment, when David goes down into the kitchen after the power's out to get a snack, and you see Michael,
Michael,
Jason in the corner during the flash of the lightning.
Yeah,
and I love that kind of stuff. We don't get enough of those moments throughout this franchise, so it is pretty cool to see a little bit of I would imagine, maybe Herbert can attest to this since he saw it in the theater. I would imagine that would be a moment where everyone kind of gasped or pointed at the screen in the theater, like, oh my God, he's right there. So that's pretty fun. And again, something you don't get in this franchise very often.
Dean, you're right. Jason hates windows and doors. He fucking hates them all. And that's why Crystal Lake Cabin and Doors is the most profitable business in New Jersey, my friends.
We have Jason-proof doors.
Bam!
And windows. Do you have a Jason Voorhees problem? We've got the answer for you.
And if you buy within the next 10 minutes, we'll have some of Ethel's famous recipe stew.
There you go.
Absolutely free.
I need a little touch-up work my ass. You tell him, Maddie. You tell him.
After she touched herself up. It's interesting. Yeah. So she did need it. She did need it. She's acting like she doesn't need it, but she needed it.
She took off the glasses and put the makeup on, so obviously she did a little something.
She was just still meh.
Yeah, she's got nice legs. I'll say that. I like her. Yeah. I'd give her a good one-time plow just to make her feel better about herself.
Damn, I was like, you're going the extra mile there. It's like, I'd rather just hang out with the guy talking about Galacticon or some shit like that.
But Brett, I bet she is very giving. I'll say that. I bet she's got a lot of love to give.
Wow. I'll just try. I'll try. I'd rather get rejected by Melissa. So.
But Melissa's hot and everything, but she's like cold. She doesn't even seem like she's hot.
Well,
and a good time.
I'll warm her up.
What?
That's my job. I'll warm her up.
Warm the buns. Yeah. Warm the buns. Go with Robin. She's a really fun time. She's just high and don't know what the hell's going on. So go with that one.
Yeah.
And then the other couple, I don't even know their fucking name. The one that was in the van with the party horn kill. I don't know their names.
Ben and
oh my God. Here, I got the list up right here. Kate and Ben.
Kate
Yeah.
and Ben.
Yeah, I like Kate. I do remember liking Kate a lot, and I was disappointed that she got real early on during the killings and all that. I wish she could have just gotten a little bit more. So, oh well, we're still talking positives, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, Ben was the part like the kill. So
What's up, Darkroom Reviews? Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, so I guess kill wise, what would be your guys' favorite kill in this movie? Obviously, not counting the unedited versions that we wish we could have had.
okay.
I'm trying to think myself, actually.
Okay, we were just talking about Sandra right after the makeup and everything. I really liked her death, like when Jason. I can't describe, like I don't know exactly what the name of the weapon is. It's just kind of like a
What is
that kind of shaped
The
weapon.
sickle?
Yeah, or something like that, and he just goes through the wall and just slices her up like that. I thought that was fantastic. If we're just going to go anything other than the sleeping bag kill, because I would think most people will say sleeping bag.
I think, is that Michael? No. Is it Michael?
That's a scythe you're talking about with Michael from Part 5, I think.
No. In this one, is it? Is Michael the one? No, that's the other guy. He killed Michael earlier. The other dude who he punches through the freaking chest and then snaps his neck when he's carrying the wood back to his
Oh
sleeping
yeah,
bag lady.
Oh,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that
with
one a
that
lot,
tent
actually.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He punches right through him and then snaps his neck.
I think that's Dan, the guy that kind of
Yeah.
looks like Will Forte.
Dan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dan.
I don't know. It's a shame because in the theatrical cut, they're just so edited that it's tough to really pick like a favorite. I mean, I guess like seeing Melissa like right after she's like "fuck you both" and then just gets the axe in the forehead and thrown, like you were saying, Brett. She's just like ragdoll thrown across the room. Like, I really dig that one, and that's also probably a moment where people would be cheering in the theater for that one because you're just waiting for her to get it.
Shoot. Honorable mention for best death in the movie is Jason Voorhees' ego, the way that he had to die in this movie.
Yeah, getting pulled down by I
Yeah,
guess
we will get that to the mixed bag part of this review. So.
Yeah, I guess they never took Tina's dad's body out of
it's a
Crystal Lake.
little.
What happened there? That
He's
doesn't
with
seem like.
no, he's with Jason now, so it's good.
Hey, you got to get the frog divers down in there. You can't. How many bodies are in this lake? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I say, did you find him? No, but we found an arm and a leg.
Let me see. Any other additions to the good category before we move on to the bad?
I think the opening. I think it has like the best recap that we've seen in the whole series at this point. Like, I love bringing back Crazy Ralph to do the voiceover. You know, bringing back that actor to do the voiceover. Getting to see the end of Jason Lives, which ties into the beginning of this film and everything. Like a good reminder, but also a great greatest hits like mixtape of what Jason has done up to this point in the franchise for sure.
And to go along with that, Davey, it's the title card too, because it just popped in my head. The title card where the light is going through those holes of Jason's mask. I thought that was absolutely creative and memorable too.
Yeah.
Probably, honestly, my favorite title card in the entire franchise.
Yeah, it's a great opening.
It's like between that and Davey, I'll be nice. It's between that and Jason Lives because I love James Bond, so I love that.
Yeah, that was like the first time that I think we really started rooting. You're not rooting for Jason, but he's like an anti-hero. He's like what you're there to really like watch and celebrate, and that certainly carries over to the New Blood, where people are cheering him on as he's taking these people out, and then you get to see him finally, fight somebody that's up to the task.
Yes. And his facial expressions were fantastic when he's getting his ass beat up.
Yeah, especially that first electric before he's like,
and shit.
What the shit?
He falls in the same puddle that is that the same puddle from Evil Dead 2 that Ash falls into? It's just like the dirtiest.
Oh, God.
It's yellow.
It reminds that's what it like in my little tiny hometown where they had dirt roads all over the place in Southeast Alaska. It rained all the time, like so many puddles like that all over. Like it was very it just harkens back to my childhood. It's always good memories with a giant dirty ass mud puddle.
I want to take back what I said on the Jason Lives one. I didn't realize that the music in the New Blood actually was the old school music. I, for some reason, didn't think any of that was in this movie at all. And there was a ton of it, a lot more in this movie than there was in Jason Lives. It all took back to all those original like Harry Manfredini music throughout, and I really, really appreciate that. Plus, some of added obviously new music as well, and it kind of just I don't know added like a I don't know how to explain it. I know Tina's obviously supernatural and shit. The music kind of went that way as well. Kind of added like a supernatural kind of flavor to it instead of just the slasher and the camp.
Like the music matches the tone of the movie and the characters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and so they do bring back the Harry Manfredini stuff, but there's also this other guy. Let's see here, Fred Mullen. I believe he ended up doing the music for Takes Manhattan, but he contributes some of the music here as well. So they bring in some of Manfredini's stuff, but I think Fred Mullen is providing a lot of that newer material, and they do bring back that little which I think is from I think that's in Jason Lives. Isn't that where they introduce that? I feel like it is. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
I want to think you're right on that.
I think you are. Happy Sanjo, what's going on, buddy? Been a member for 7 months. Appreciate that, buddy. How you doing, Coy?
Nice.
How are you doing, my man? Yeah. So if nothing else to add it to the good category, we will switch over because there always got to be the other side of the coin, and we have the bad, and that's what Brett loves is the good, but it's pretty. He's terrifying.
Nasty.
Look at him, nasty teeth and shit. Yeah. So, we'll go ahead and we'll let Brett go first on the bad since Davey's probably got more to say.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and bring off the obviously bad in this movie. I'm sorry, but it's Nick. Absolutely a pointless character in this movie. He does nothing to benefit Tina. He does nothing, just sit there and take naps and easily get knocked down. I'm pretty sure if there was just a light breeze in the air, he'd just be like, just like he'll just go down and take a nap. I'm just sorry, but he is just one of the most useless characters in the entire Friday the 13th franchise. I despise Nick in this movie.
Come on, man.
I'd rather Star Galacticon guy to get with Tina more than this guy.
Star Mummy, baby. I forgot that's in the good category. Star Mummy is fantastic, and I would back that movie. Side note, my bad. Davey, do you agree? Is Nick a bad part of this movie?
Yeah, I think he's kind of a nothing burger. Yeah, there could have been more for him to do. In the last act of the movie, he is very proactive about like, let's just get the hell out of here. And Tina wants to find her mom, and he's like, I get it, but like he's seen the bodies pile up too, and he just wants to get the hell out. But he doesn't really do very much other than it's almost like in these movies they just wanted to have a guy and a girl, be like the final pair. They wanted to have somebody that liked Tina, but he doesn't really stand up for her very much while she's getting like teased and bullied. He gives Melissa a little bit of shit, but he definitely could have been a bit more forceful there and a bit more proactive for sure.
Yeah, he even dropped Tina's clothes in the middle of like at the beginning of the movie. He picked up his suitcase and the clothes fall over and all that. I was like, come on, man. Like we all know you were trying to look at her underwear and all that. Dude. But he consider it.
He washed her shirt and brought it back over,
Yeah, so he can see her. So he can see her again. But if I were Tina, I would just use my mind power or telekinesis and just force push his ass into the lake.
You got to shoot your shot. You know what I mean?
I would respect that he did shoot a shot, but unfortunately, after that he just took naps for most of the movie.
Yeah, he's terrible at skipping rocks too. This guy is.
He just throws them in.
He like sidearms him, and it's like clunk. Like, dude, what the hell? Do you even know how to skip rocks? Like,
throwing, like,
lame.
Look at that wrist.
Yeah,
What
terrible.
What a loser. Dave Vanderhoff in the building. What's going on, Dave? And James from Grimnox Productions. What's up, James? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Says overall look of Jason in this film is so iconic. One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's really good.
So you guys talked about how you like the friend group. I actually did not. I think they're very, very forgettable. Some of the most forgettable in this franchise, if I'm being honest. I just don't care about any of them. Yes, Melissa is a great bitch character. She's fantastic at being that. Nick, like you guys said, pretty boring dude. Pretty boring. He doesn't do anything.
Vanilla.
We got the fucking lady who's only with that guy because of his big wallet or whatever he fucking has, because she don't care about his dick. She just wants his money. So that guy's going to camp in a fucking sweater, like and get the fuck out of here. This ain't a country club. And then Ben and Kate, I don't care about them either. Happy fucking birthday. That's what he said whenever he comes to the van. Like, you don't even like girls, man. Get out of here, Ben. I just don't like any of them. I don't. Jamie Hart, I
was like, you fix that right now. Jamie,
there you go.
is
You get a big old heart right there.
She's the heart of our community.
That's for you.
Love
you better
Jamie.
close that heart right back up. Close it back up. But for me, friend group is part of the bad, in my opinion. Might be a hot take. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, in these movies, like, I think a lot of the times they're the disposable characters. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised with most of these movies if you said the friend group was kind of meh. You know, I think they usually are, maybe other than a standout or two. But I do like that everyone's they're memorable enough because they're so different. You know, there's like greaser stoner guy, nerdy girl that's trying to move from ugly duckling to pretty. Then you got the nerdy sci-fi guy. You got the bitch Melissa. You know, like I think that they all sort of stand out. Now, they don't really have that big of an outcome, but they're just there so Jason can, get his muddy footprints all over and kill the ever living shit out of him.
Hey, what's up, Wayne? Well, the Friday the 13th movies have never really been known for great characters. I'm not gonna dive. I get it. I'm not really one to talk about it, but I just don't really like any of these characters. I don't care what they develop into. I just don't really like any of them. I just think they're pretty boring. And obviously, the next movie they're gonna get boringer too, because nobody gives a shit about anybody in that movie. And yeah, Tommy was the legacy character because he was in 3 movies out of, the first 6. I don't know. I just don't think these are that great, in my opinion.
60% of the time, they're disposable every time.
Wait, that kind of math doesn't make any sense.
Sex Panther. I love that cologne. It smells good. It smells like a dirty diaper filled with Indian food. Brett, what else do you got in the bad category for this movie?
Well, I'll put it in the bad, but I'm kind of a mixed bag on it. But it's the way Jason dies. I know I referred to it earlier, but I'll mention again. It's just the way that Jason dies at the end of it, where Tina's dad comes from the lake and drags Jason down. But actually, a buddy of mine, Nick Cooling, the movie ranker, we all know Nick. We love him.
Sir.
If not, you should be subscribing to his channel. He makes awesome ranking videos. He best described it to me. He describes it as, it's just like a image thing. It's just like what Tina sees in her eyes. It's like her dad coming out from the lake to pull Jason down to rescue her. But if you really look in like Nick's eyes or something, it's just Tina's telekinesis powers getting the chain, wrapping it around, and pulling Jason down. So I'm 50-50 on it. But if we're going to be honest, if you have telekinesis powers, we should do something way more cooler than that. So it's a mixed bag, but more towards negative than positive. I will say that.
That is a good point. She could have done something so cool.
All the stuff she does in the house is awesome, like throwing nails at him and lighting him on, the gasoline, lighting him on fire, the light bulb smash that knocks him through the stairs. Like, Yeah, and then at the end, it's just like dad grabs him and pulls him down. It could have been a lot more epic there at the end for sure. But I guess they probably wanted to make sure that Jason was like relatively intact, or still intact for the next movie, because she could have like crushed his head or literally ripped him limb from limb. But yeah, they kind of went, a little safe on that one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the third act was killing it up until that point. Obviously, all the damage she was doing to him, the fight was good. And then they go to the dock, and then Jason's really pissed off, and he's burnt. And then it's just, he gives Nick a nice karate punch. I like that one. And he throws him into the boat. That was good. And then the ghost dad comes up, clean. Looks like he's fresh, just died yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I know the MPA edited the shit out of it because he's supposed to be a zombie, which would have been really cool. It made a lot more sense. But then either way, it doesn't make any fucking sense because a guy died in the lake and they're just like, fuck it. We don't need him.
Yeah,
Leave him in there.
Well, and even like in that cut where they edit back in all that footage, there's that really odd, like after he pulls Jason down and he just like sticks his head up like through the dock and he just looks at Tina and then goes back down. I was like, oh, not all this stuff should have been kept in the movie. Like that was an odd moment.
Like whack-a-mole.
For sure. I think like one of the worst, a couple bad things that stand out to me. The fashion is dreadful. The hair is terrible. None of these characters look particularly good or very attractive with their clothes on. Tina has some of the worst hair in the franchise, but her mom wins out on that one. She has like the most dreadful, like dry ass. They both got dry ass looking, like kind of like dog hair. It's just shameful. And I will say this, I think the music is fucking dreadful in this movie. The big other than the stuff that they bring in from the previous films, like during the credits when you just have those stings and those drum hits
over and over again.
The credits drive me friggin' crazy. I have to fast forward through them. I can't stand the credits in this film. The music is so bad, and I just I don't know, for whatever reason. I understand they wanted to try something different. I just don't really like those orchestral hits with the cheesy synth drum kind of thing they're doing. And I think the editing is pretty weak here too. There are a lot of scenes that just sort of like end, and then you just like have an establishing shot of like the two houses or the lake, like these scenes that just sort of they cut off out of nowhere. I think that's something that like is always going to hold this movie back for me, is that it's just not edited very well, unfortunately. And you realize the more and more you watch movies, maybe editing is something you don't really think about. And most of the time you shouldn't be thinking about it, because if the movie is done well, the editing is going to be a big part of making it all cohesive and giving it a good rhythm and a good flow. And I think this movie is like a little jarring with some of the edits, unfortunately, and that's gonna fall into that bad category for me as well.
Yeah, definitely the mom. Fuck the mom, because the mom had every opportunity to get Tina out of that situation, and she's almost just as more useless than Nick in the movie. I'll just be honest, they're both kind of like on the same parallel of like just being completely useless. And another thing that's bad is who taught Tina how to drive? Michael?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
She was doing very well last night. No, she wasn't.
Yeah, and she doesn't even hit anything, but like somehow she destroys the car. The car is just like inoperable. She just like runs into an embankment. That's it. The car's like donezo.
Oh my god.
Another thing I think is bad here too is where the location that they shot this in. Now they shot it in Alabama.
It looks like
the forests in the southern part of the country look so different than the forests, like the one that we're seeing in this background in New Jersey. The trees are not nearly as robust. The trees are like twiggy and
swampish
sparse.
Area.
Yeah, it's just, it just doesn't really. Maybe if all the movies looked this way, I wouldn't have ever noticed it. But something that I've noticed the older I've gotten is I'm just like, man, you can tell this is just like this brown forest with like there no greenery and no like actual like big trees. Like, where are the evergreens? Where are the spruce trees? It just doesn't look like the New Jersey kind of location, or even the California locations that they've used previously in the film.
God.
And this was obviously supposed to be the same place where Jason Lives took place, since Jason's tied right there.
Mhm.
And Tina always lived there, but yet that was a camp Forest Green fucking last year. So, or wait, no, this is really fucked up. This is not a year after Jason.
It's like
Lives.
10 years after Jason
Fucking,
Lives, 10 or 11 years or something like that.
Yeah. So in that time, well, it still doesn't make any fucking sense, because they would have had to knock down the cabins real quick and then built this lake house in place. So it doesn't really make any sense. But this franchise is starting to get to that point where nothing is going to make sense at all. So it just started here.
Especially your next week.
Shut up! Jason Takes Manhattan is my jam.
But I'm just thinking here, like, could you imagine if we were talking about Alabama, and of course Jason Lives was shot in the Georgia area. Imagine if this movie were filmed in New Orleans, and then just Jason pops out of the water, and then that guy goes, "Hey, we're Tyler, Jason Voorhees coming out the lake, and, right over there, hey."
Yeah. Jason goes to the bayou.
But Bubba says that Jason Voorhees lived down at that lake, and he's mad because he has that machete and no teens. Like,
Mama's wrong again.
Jason is jambalaya.
Eat all day.
Jason Voorhees says I have a doula umagada. Like,
well,
Jason goes to a voodoo funeral.
Come on, wouldn't that be something? The voodoo doll, and then just do the voodoo. Jason just goes.
There you go. A streetcar named Jason. A streetcar named Voorhees.
Talk about a crossover right there, folks. Friday the 13th and Victor Crowley.
Well, there is a crossover, right? Because Kane plays Victor Crowley, right?
Yes, and Derek Mears is in the other one, in one of the movies. So there you go.
Number 3.
Double Friday the 13th love in one movie. Unbelievable. And the scene between them was short and not as good as it should have been.
Yeah, and it's criminal because Derek Mears could put up a lot better fight. But regardless, though, that's not what we're talking about. But
No. Ashton says he needs some drugs and some alcohol to make it through Jason Takes Manhattan. So
you and Brad both, Ashton, but like I have a soft spot for Manhattan at the end of the day. I'll defend that movie to this day.
I've come around a hell of a lot on it, to be honest.
I know, and trust me, totally get it. I know I fight a losing battle every time, but I just the research behind. But you know what? That's a different topic. So leave it for next week's guest. I'm sorry. Next week's guest.
The New Blood looks like a masterpiece compared to that.
You shut your
fair
mouth.
That's fair.
Fuck. What was I gonna say? You guys are fucking me up, man. Oh, I was a little curious, though. Obviously, the house exploded, but I'm just a little curious how it exploded, because most house fires, most of them don't just explode. So
they had the gas tank down there.
It did it. That's it. That's what caused it to go off, the gas tank?
Yeah, it's the same thing at Jump 21 Street. You just like shoot that little thing in the chicken coop and it just explodes. So you don't really need a reason. Like,
I thought it was all the hairspray for the terrible ass, fried ass hair.
That's true.
And it's the fact that it's the driest forest of all time. So it's just.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It doesn't rain there, I guess. Blu-ray, you're right. I can watch all of these movies at least once or twice a year and can have fun watching them. That is exactly right, except for one of them I cannot have fun with, and I didn't get that far yet. So
I think I know which one that is.
Which one is it?
Do you have to go a trip to hell to go be miserable?
No, I don't. I actually like that one.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
I actually like that one. It's the one after that I hate. Very much.
What?
I hate it.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
You don't pass.
Nipple twisters. I love it. Does anybody else got anything to add to the bad category?
I'll just throw it out there. I know we've kind of shamed it already, but the MPAA, it can go fuck off.
Sure.
Because like that, you can. It's like from this movie on, the MPAA just gets their hands all over the Friday the 13th franchise, and that's what really starts the downfall of the Friday the 13th. And I think they kind of let loose a little bit on Jason Goes to Hell, but like, just it's not fair that Manhattan and the New Blood have to suffer by the MPAA. I just don't think that's fair. When the other Friday the 13th movies got to have free range with their kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I think part 5 and part 6 are edited pretty heavily too, but nothing compares to the way the New Blood was treated by the MPAA. I mean, this movie would be so much better if they hadn't cut that stuff out. And yeah, it's unfortunate. A lot of the kills are kind of edited for, like, you could put them on, you know, regular, like it could air on ABC with the way that a lot of these were, you know, were cut apart. So yeah, it is. It's definitely one of the bads for sure. You know, especially when you have somebody like John Carl Buechler, you know, directing the film, who is just, you know, a special effects maestro. He's one of the big ones. There's probably like 5 or 6 names that most people usually talk about. And I think he's definitely in that conversation for sure. So yeah, it's so odd too, because the MPAA, like, if you make a war movie, you can show whatever the hell you want. But if you do something that's like a fantasy movie, like a slasher film, it's not supposed to be realistic at all, they get all up in arms about it. I've never understood that, but I'm happy that those days are pretty much gone.
Yeah. Like, I would MPAA, like you said, I would MPAA a bunch of the war movies, just because, again, those are realistic deaths and all that, like you perfectly stated. So I agree with that. So MPAA, you can go fuck off.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? If they knew that these movies would like live on for decades, and that every year we'd have like a new transfer and a new version, of boutique labels putting out 4Ks and all that kind of stuff, and they knew that all of us nerds were going to be talking about it and dissecting every moment on YouTube, then, you know, they would have they would have preserved those kills better than they did. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait for like some advanced AI to come out to really clean those up if we're ever going to get a true, like, unedited version or director's cut version of the film. So yeah, MPAA, you can just sit on a big fat one.
Yeah, buddy. Love it.
Gory, that's a good point. He says when the house exploded, it looked like it spent most of the budget on that. I could see that. I'm assuming it looked like a real house. Unless he says it was a miniature, then it would have been cheaper. But it looked real.
I think it was real, and I think they did not expect it to be. If I remember correctly on the commentary, they're like, we had no idea it was going to be this big of an explosion, because some of those cameras are pretty close. You can see the cameras like get really shook in that moment. Yeah. Like, it is an epic explosion. I probably should have mentioned that in the good, because that explosion is really damn impressive. Like, holy shit.
I could just imagine just at the budget meeting, like, okay, we need an explosion, but we don't need too big of an explosion. I was like, okay, hey, don't worry, we got you, boss. We got you. Yeah. And then just like,
it's big.
Oh,
hit the deck.
Yeah, it's like Danny McBride's character from Tropic Thunder. They're like, we don't need that big of an explosion. The guy's like, so I should put the C4 back in my truck then? Yeah, or
oh my gosh! Oh, he's saying now. Do it
now. Jamie says Jason Goes to Hell wouldn't be so bad if it was a standalone film without Jason. That's the way I usually just take it as I watch it. I just don't. I don't include it with the rest of the Friday the 13th because it really doesn't fit, like, at all. But, you know, it's good enough. The Maestro Megatron says great Jason effects and piss poor story writing.
Yeah, I can say story writing is negative.
Yeah,
that's about right. Hey, Zodiac Z says he likes Jason Goes to Hell even as a Friday movie. He gets it. He gets it. You don't get it, but he gets it.
Yeah, so I don't get it, but I respect Zodiac C gets it. So I respect you, sir.
So many flavors. We all can have our own scoop.
Except for the mint chocolate ice cream. Anybody that eats mint chocolate, there's no saving.
What?
Uh-oh.
Mint chocolate chip is one of the best flavors out there. What the hell are you talking about?
I agree. I hate it.
Davey, now
nasty.
I thought we were doing good.
It's
Oh my
nasty.
gosh.
I'm sorry.
It's one of the best. Oh my
It's like,
god. You
it's like
guys.
toothpaste with chocolate in it.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to brush my teeth while I'm enjoying a dessert.
Wow.
It is a popular flavor, though.
It is. It is. Like I say,
just
if
don't
you
like
like it, I guess you like it. But like, it's just like again, I don't want to brush my teeth while I'm eating dessert.
I don't know what you guys do in the boonies, but I don't eat toothpaste.
Whoa!
Hey, do not
I don't
make
live
fun
in
of
the
our
boonies.
gamble. Do not make fun of our gamble chocolates for Christmas, okay? We risk it every time.
I mean, it's not even the mint I don't like, really. I'm just not a huge fan of chocolate chips in my ice cream. It doesn't matter if chocolate chip, cookie dough, whatever. I just don't like the chocolate chips. Unless they're mint. Unless they're not mint. Milk chocolate, which they're probably not. So, but,
Matt, I'll get you MPAA mint chocolate chip that has no chocolate chips in it. How about that?
Yes, it's edited, baby.
They've removed the chocolate chips for editing purposes.
Yeah, fucking edited. Let's go. Hey, waffle cones are fire, Zodiac Z. You got that right.
Oh, dude, waffle cones are absolutely the way to go. But cookies and cream, to me, is the top ice cream flavor of all time.
Pretty good. I'm a bubblegum guy. It's probably my favorite.
Ooh,
really?
I haven't had bubblegum in a while.
I've never had bubblegum ice cream ever.
So good.
Is it the zebra bubblegum where it's just like you get a little bit of bubblegum and then it just disappears, or like?
I prefer to have bubblegum ice cream that doesn't have the bubblegum in it because I'm not interested in that crappy bubblegum they put in there. I just want the flavor. I just love the flavor of bubblegum. I'm a little kid at heart, Brett, you know.
It was just you got your two types of gum. You got your zebra gum that you just get flavor for like 2 minutes, and then you get your hubba max with the duck on the pink on the pink wrapper and all that, where you'd be chewing that son of a bitch for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, let me see. I don't think I have anything left for the bad, unless you guys have any final thoughts.
No, we destroyed Nick. We destroyed MPAA. We destroyed the dad coming out of the dog. We destroyed the Nick characters of this movie.
The hair.
We destroyed the 80s hair on crack. No, I think we covered most of it.
Okay, and thanks, Maestro Megatron. Appreciate that, buddy. Really appreciate that. Blu-ray. That's a good point, though. That is a good point. It's odd that the MPA was cool with the nudity, but hated the blood and the gore. It's weird.
Hey, nudity over blood and gore every time.
As many boobies as you want to put in there.
60% of the time, it works with me every time.
My wife was like, we watched it with her, and obviously they show the boobs. She was like, when are they going to show a dick? I was like, probably never. I was like, they don't do that.
Does anyone want to see that? I don't know.
I was gonna say if she's that interested, Matt, there's a little movie called 28 Days Later at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
which I watched it the other day. I was like, I totally forgot Cillian Murphy just has no care.
It's
hangs dong.
Yeah, so I wonder how much he got paid to show that little thing. But
I started to rewatch that today. I only made it 45 minutes in before I went to work, but
I mean they could show some like dude butt. You know, we see some like shirtless guys, but we don't really, you know, they could show a butt for the ladies, you know, give them a little something. Yeah.
Or a Midsommar where they just go.
No.
Like they just really go for it. Like,
just go ahead and get in there. Go ahead and push that ass right in.
Or like Porky's where everyone's naked. Like everyone, you see like 10 dongs in that movie or whatever. It's crazy.
God. Only on Facci Cinema we talk about dongs. So
okay, moving on away from dong talk, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta go and give the judgment. I put the polls out like I do every time. Instagram gave it a 3.65 out of 5, which is higher than I thought. YouTube gave it a 3.55 out of 5, which is still higher than I thought it would be. So you guys don't know what you're talking about. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what our panel gives. Oh, hold on. Let me go ahead and close the poll in the chat and see what those fine folks decided on this movie. And 51% gave it a 3 out of 5. 22% gave it a 5. 22% gave it a 4. And only 3% gave it a 2 or below.
Way to go, chat. So,
more love for this movie. And is the love going to go down the crapper with Davy's score out of 5, what do you give the New Blood?
I give this one a 3. I think 3 is fair for this one.
Okay.
It's there's a lot of fun to be had here, even though it was gutted by the MPAA and all that. I still think it's a fun movie. There's so much worse in this franchise than what we're seeing here, and I think 3 out of 5 is pretty damn fair. And I don't know if this really makes sense. Sometimes I try to give these a star rating like within the franchise. Instead of just like, I'm not comparing it to like Jaws or Citizen Kane or 2001. I'm just comparing it within the franchise. And I think 3 out of 5 is pretty damn fair here.
2 out of 5 from Ashton.
Okay.
There it is.
Not the one that I thought he was going to go with. For me, this is like on a technical scale. I'll go with a 3.75 out of 5 for me. If we kept the MPAA and all that, this would shoot up right to a 4.25 for me.
Whoa.
Because I'm just telling you, just like you said, the editing and the kills, like if we brought all that and cleaned it up, that movie would easily be top 3 in the franchise for me personally. But I have to take it for what it is, 3.75. We love what pretty much this movie is. It's the third act. They did a sort of meh job getting to that third act, but once we get to that third act and everything is just ready to go, it's such a fun time. You definitely want to add this Friday the 13th in your Friday the 13th rotation of movie watches. And Davey, you're getting ready for this one. I've told you this before in your little chat here on your stream that I got this movie better than Jason Lives.
Wow. It's like you don't even know what
Jason
movies are all
Lives is a
about.
3.5 out. Oh my god.
Jason Lives is a
3.5 out of 5. Just because the only difference is that the look is better. We don't have to do the whole utility belt Home Depot Jason look. And I just love a serious Friday the 13th movie, and that provides more of a seriousness and a tone than Jason Lives. It's just like my argument with the Evil Dead franchise. You love the corniness and the jokes of the movie, or you just love to be scared half to death. And I love to be scared half to death with those type of movies. So that's the only reason why just the New Blood is just barely better than Jason Lives. For me.
I mean, I guess I hear what you're saying. I do think, I am fully ready to admit that Jason Lives is a fun movie. I will say this though, like, the New Blood the plot isn't as rich. There's just not as much meat on the bone when it comes to everything other than, the look of Jason, which, I do prefer the look of Jason here. But I mean, I think it's totally fair. I'm not when it comes to the Evil Dead, I like the more serious stuff than the funny stuff for sure, although I love it all. But I mean,
I'm the same way too, but
and I think like, honestly, the New Blood could probably like be serviced a little bit better if there were some funnier moments. I think there are a couple of funny moments here that I really enjoy. Maybe that would have moved over for somebody like Matt. It would have moved the friend group into something like in the good category instead of the bad category, if there was something a little more memorable there. But I get what you're saying for sure. I mean, I think 3 out of 5. I think that's fair here.
Yeah, and it's just to throw out there, like, I still give Jason Lives a 3.5 out of 5. I respect what that movie has done, not just for the franchise, but actually has done for horror fans as well. Like my best friend Brad, for example, that was his first horror movie,
nice.
One of his first ones too. So I know the importance of that movie, but it's not for me for that type of humor.
And for myself, I'll start off by saying, after rewatching the first 7 movies so far, that the New Blood is currently in last place in my ranking. Brett doesn't want to hear that, but that's where it is right now. It's not going to finish last, I don't think, but that's where it sits right now. I gave it a 3 out of 5, though. So, obviously, like Davey said, I'm not comparing this to fucking like Halloween or Jaws or anything like that. Just in the context of this franchise, I think it's a good solid 3 out of 5. You get decent kills, nudity. Jason looks fantastic. Could have been done a couple things better. Obviously, the MPA didn't fuck around. Would have probably bumped it up to probably 3.5 out of 5. But the way it lies right now, I think 3 out of 5 is fair. in my opinion.
Facci is the Angel Reese to my Caitlin Clark. Go Fever.
Oh no,
So
I'm missing layups and doing whatever
What,
Angel Reese
so
does.
Brett,
Rebounds.
I have to ask you, Brett, what would you have thought? So what if Nick isn't in this movie, but Tommy Jarvis comes back in the final act?
Which one? The
Ooh.
ninja one, or the karate one, or the one we got Jason
the
with?
real Tommy Jarvis, Tom Matthews.
No, the other guy.
Then you have to ask the question: what happened with Megan? That's what the question I'd be asking. I was like, you're really going to go like with this Tina who has these telekinetic powers? Like she's just a little weird over this badass
on.
hot chick that's Megan. Even though technically, I probably would go with Tina because Megan hardly didn't do anything against Jason Voorhees. She just got one. She just got one lucky shot with that whole boat, like the boat rotator thing at the end of it. That's it. Just one lucky shot.
That's a pretty lucky shot. It's pretty good stuff there. Yeah, I don't know.
She's
Same
a good,
thing with the Alice
come on,
swing in
she's-
the original movie, Lucky Swing.
Hey, Megan is a way better driver than Tina. I'm
Oh,
just
she's
saying.
great. She's a great driver. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's hitting them curves. It's gonna be a hairy turn. Get your face in my vagina.
Still,
Oh,
still
come
trying to find the
on.
point of that scene, but you know, it is what it is. So
It just focuses on her crotch.
yeah,
like
I was like,
5
how much
times
do they have to
throughout
pay
that
her?
little
It's like, hey,
chase
by the
scene.
way, how much is it going to take for us just to shoot the yeah, what are you trying to say, director?
Hard rock
Here,
summer.
let me just show you an example over here in the bedroom. Okay, just come on, let's go. Bye.
Oh, I get it. But your pants are on, so that's fine. Not a big deal. No nudity in that movie, unfortunately. But it's a good enough time. This isn't a movie that you're gonna skip if you're marathoning them, or most people probably aren't going
Right.
to do it. That's coming up soon, sooner than later. One of these next 3 is getting skipped, if not multiples are gonna get skipped in a marathon by most people. Maybe me, maybe not. Depends. I don't know. But it's happening. But the mask is fantastic. I love it. Love the boat damage that happened from the propeller. Even though whenever I was talking to Vincent, how fucking it was either the longest fucking propeller of all time or the shortest lake of all time because Jason was on the bottom and it was only like
Wait, weren't they not
so,
like in the shallow end? Like,
okay, maybe they were in the shallow end. No.
well,
No, they were in
some
the
lakes
middle.
could be shallowed.
That's a shallow lake, and then this lake doesn't even look like that lake. So
Yeah.
And a quick question about
no
your mask,
consistency.
because there's a story behind the original mask. Does your mask have the drawing on its nose?
The drawing of what?
Because there's a story of on the original set and everything that when Jason fell in that puddle, King Hodder hit a rock in that water and it put a little crack on his nose right there. And for most people who are really detailed with the mask, always do this little drawing of like where the original crack was of the new blood mask. Yeah,
pretty good.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
It's a great looking mask.
Yeah, oh no, it's a badass mask. I kind of wish I kept it, but I gave it to a great friend of mine, and instead I kept the Part 8 mask. That's the one I chose
I like
between
that
the
one
two. So good friend I am. So but maybe in the future I'll buy it again.
Ashton says I'd skip to the remake. I'm sure a lot of people probably
Yeah,
would.
it's probably right after 7, or honestly right after 6 is where they go to the remake.
Oh, of course, Aaron. I mean, I get it. He says, "Oh, the days of marathoning movies, those days are long gone for me."
Yeah.
I get it.
Fair.
I wanted to marathon on for Friday the 13th, this past one, obviously, but I just don't have enough time. Obviously, with kids and work and stuff, I just don't have enough time.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish the one we started. I had to finish it the next day. So, not that I haven't seen part 2 56 times in the past
56
year.
times.
But
Yeah, I watch these at least once a year, So, and usually I'll watch all of them. If I'm not in the mood to watch, like the Manhattan Blu-ray that comes in that Shout Factory box has a really great commentary track. So sometimes if I'm like totally over the movie, I'll put it on with the commentary, and it's just like I like to nerd out over that kind of stuff. So I've seen them enough to know what the hell happens, but yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
with special shout out to
Uh,
Camp Crystal Lake Memories, the greatest, well, pretty much one of the greatest horror documentaries of all time. It's just like when they did that entire franchise, even though, in my opinion, I wish they did every movie and every franchise ever, like they did the Rob Zombie Halloween documentary, if that's on
Mm.
YouTube. Because that is the GOAT. That's exactly what I want a horror movie documentary to be all about. But if we can't, the Camp Crystal Lake Memories, that's like 7 hours long, and I watched it for 7 straight hours on first watch. Didn't even go to the
holy
bathroom
fuck.
for 7 hours. That's how dedicated I was.
Just
It
wore
was
a diaper.
well, it was yeah, just depends. It was just fantastic.
Just depends. Party horn time. It's right in the face. That Ben kill unedited was crazy,
Oh,
man.
so
He
good.
started
Mhm.
Yeah.
blood everywhere.
Mm.
Look good. Let me see. Okay, I think that's gonna all that we got for the good, the bad, and the judgment. Let me talk about what's coming up, and then we could just you guys let me know what you guys are doing,
Okay.
and then we'll just chit chat for a little bit. Next week, obviously, we're going to Manhattan, and it's gonna be Justin, my buddy Justin, 1/3 of the Rad Pack's coming on, and we're gonna have an early time, man. I had to move. It's gonna be on a Friday, which I never do, but it worked better for him. So next Friday we will be talking Jason Takes Manhattan. Then after that, we will be going to hell with Ken from Sledgehammer Horror. He will be on talking about that fantastic film that everyone loves. And then it's my birthday week, so I'm going to be doing a special top 10
Nice.
horror movies of 2025 so far. So from January to June. And then just hanging out with you guys. So that's what's going to be coming up in July. Davey, I see you have a double late night with the Davies scheduled tomorrow.
Yeah, we're doing a before dark edition of Late Night. That's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern with our guy Evan from Rockland Graves Productions. Man, his channel is just like one of the most, it just exploded last year. And I think I had him on Late Night in like August, and he was at like almost 40,000 subs, and then he crossed 100,000 before the year ended.
Nice.
And we are going to talk about, you know, Hollywood sort of co-opting young talent, and if that's something that's happening, or if it's just that some of these directors are choosing to do some more mainstream ideas or remake ideas because that's truly what they want from their own passion and their own pursuit. I'm going to kind of come at it from almost like a punk rock sort of perspective. You know, when I was growing up listening to a lot of punk rock, the more popular those bands got, and then they went to like a major label, it just seemed like the music got a little safer and a little less interesting. And I see that sort of happening with a guy like Robert Eggers, whose work I really enjoy and appreciate. But part of the fan part of me is like, oh no, is Hollywood just turning him into a guy that's just going to do, you know, he did Nosferatu, then we're getting Werewolf, now he's going to do a Christmas Carol. And it's like, shit, are we ever going to get something as weird as like The Witch or The Lighthouse from this guy ever again? And so, you know, and Evan's a huge Eggers fan, so we're just going to kind of have that discussion back and forth, you know, about how we feel as fans versus, you know, obviously letting those people pursue whatever they want in their career. So that'll be a fun discussion with him tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we see some of our UK folks joining that one. And then tomorrow night, we are going to do a watch party of the greatest Friday the 13th film of all time. Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. You guys did the super chat goal, and y'all picked that movie to watch. So we're going to do that at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I might have some guests with me. I'm not sure. I reached out to a whole bunch of people, and I haven't gotten anything nailed down, but it might just be me, or it might be me cycling through a bunch of people or bringing on a handful of people. I don't know. But that's what I've got coming up here this week on my channel. And then on Friday, I'm going to be on Backtrack Cinema with Jason. We're going to do a review and discussion of Jaws and Jaws 2 as part of the 50th anniversary celebration for the original Jaws.
Hey, speaking of Backtrack Cinema, he loves Jason Lives, so you might need to ask him for that opportunity as well.
Perhaps.
He does love it.
So,
Brett, what's coming up on Good Rail since you guys are
Yeah,
back?
we're officially back. We're going to be launching pretty much, I like to call this Good Real Hunting 2.0, where we're pretty much most of everything we've done is in the past, and we're just moving on to a bright future. And it starts, actually, technically, kind of starts tomorrow because you all voted. You all wanted the Fried Bites show that I have planned, which is a 50-minute Q&A segment show every Wednesday during lunchtime. And the votes I saw today. So tomorrow's stream is going to be on at 2 o'clock Eastern time, where I'll just be on for 50 minutes. We're just going to be hanging out, Q&A, ask whatever you want. It could be about sports, it could be about horror movies, which I know we've talked a lot about it already. But if you want to talk about anything except for my two rules, which is no religion or no political talk, ask me anything. I'll be there on my lunch break for 50 minutes. So that is tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And then Thursday, I will be doing a real-time reaction video on the new official Good Real Hunting TikTok, where it will be my out of theater reaction for 28 years later. So I would appreciate you all for give us a follow on TikTok, because our last video right now, I just looked right now, we are at a video, or a picture video, is doing 20.4K views already, which is one of the highest things I've ever done personally for me on TikTok. So I am thrilled with the success on that, and hopefully the build on it. And then Thursday, it'll be me, it'll be Chris, and it's going to be Brad. Brad will officially be back
right.
this Thursday. He's so happy to be back. I talked to him over the weekend that we are going to be introducing a brand new show called The Final Cut. If you're a sports fan out there and know what Pardon the Interruption is, that kind of style of show, we're going to do that, but in a horror type of way too. So we're going to be going over very popular horror topics, horror news, and then towards the end of the stream, we're going to be doing a segment called What We Watching, like just everything we've been watching, chatting with the chat. We're going to be playing a game with the fellas. I got a good game in mind, so you do not want to miss that for this Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And of course, expect video droppings of 28 years later, a ranking, and I might do a challenge. I might pull it back, or you all been doing. I might challenge the chat on Thursday. If we reach a certain goal, I will even include 28 days and weeks later reviews if we can get enough support for it.
Hell yeah! I think I might be like the only one. I want to see 28 years later, but I'm like, it's fine. I'm not really in a rush to see it. I don't really like the first two movies that much, to be honest. So
sorry, last thing, because I forgot I had another channel too. Bert's Corner. Me and my good buddy, wrestling buddy, Robbie Sobel, we'll be having episode 2 of our Ring the Bell, which again, explain what the final cut was with the horror edition of Pardon the Interruption. Ring the Bell is the wrestling version of Pardon the Interruption. So if you are a big wrestling fan, especially in the WWE market, we got a lot of topics to talk about tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time as well. Over at Parks Corner, and there I'll be posting all that tomorrow. Wrestling.
Yeah, Matt, I think 28 years later could be the best one in the franchise, because when I first saw 28 Days Later in the theater when I was like 20, or when I was like 20 or 21 when it came out, I really liked it the first time, and then every time I watched it since then, I just liked it less and less, and it just seemed very derivative of like Day of the Dead and stuff like that. And I do think the whole look of this new one, though, I like the idea of jumping in at that 28-year mark, seeing where people are at like way down the line. And plus, like the iPhone rigs that they put together to shoot some of this is like, Danny Boyle is trying some new stuff out and pushing the, technology side of filmmaking. So I think some of the movie could look like, like something we've never seen before, at least those shots where they use those rigs. So yeah, I'll be checking that one out on Thursday, and of course dropping the out of theater reaction, and probably shooting a review for that one as well.
I'll probably be watching it sometime, just not where I'm supposed to watch movies.
Yeah.
You guys know.
And
what I
what's
mean.
crazy though is when I watched 28 Weeks Later earlier this morning, and I was like, "Oh, I've seen this movie. I'm going to watch it." And as I'm watching it, I'm like, "I've never seen this damn movie in my life." So, but I will just say, I did have a good time with it. How much of a good time I had with it? Only you, Chad, can determine that if we get that goal reached for review.
I mean, this one has Aaron Taylor Johnson in it, and I kind of have a man
Hey,
crush and love that
and
guy.
Ralph
So
Fiennes
I mean, I
too.
probably did. I only watch movies for Aaron Taylor
Yeah.
Johnson because I like him a lot. Like
Oh my
Godzilla
gosh!
2014.
What about your movie Craven, man?
I've only seen the end of it. I never watched.
Oh
the
god,
movie.
that's even worse. Seeing the ending with that god awful CGI.
It looked terrible.
Yeah.
It looked terrible.
He's so good in Nosferatu, though. He won me back over. I didn't really care for him as Quicksilver and really didn't like him in Godzilla, but man, his performance performance in Nosferatu, I think, is easily the best performance in that whole entire movie.
God, I love
like
Godzilla.
easily.
Hey, he's also good in a movie called Bullet Train too with Brad Pitt too. I thought he was really entertaining with that movie too.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I've heard
Oh,
about it.
you need to watch it. It's talk about
Yes.
just having popcorn and having fun. Bullet Train's that movie for you.
Well, hopefully it's not like Ballerina, which was the most boring shit I ever watched in my entire life. Like so much action. That I don't care. If you're action 98% of the time, how am I supposed to care?
3 strikes, you're out. Have a good night, everybody.
I haven't seen it. I don't plan on watching it.
Go Broncos, Brett. Go Broncos.
Bonus. Aaron Taylor Johnson was good in Kick-Ass.
Yes, that's true.
Fuck
yeah,
he
he's very
was.
good in Kick-Ass. Yeah, those are fun movies.
Well, I'm wearing my Broncos hat, but I don't have my stuff over here.
I'll just go chill with my 3 Super Bowl rings. It's okay.
Wait,
Me
you're on
too.
the team? I had no idea.
Hey, it takes dedicated work as a fan, okay? You would buy a Super Bowl ring too if the Commanders would have won the Super Bowl this year.
A lot of crying.
Maybe.
A lot of crying. A lot of tough years.
Yeah.
Especially for the Commanders. Or the Redskins and now the
yeah.
Commanders. Whatever. The
They're
football
going to go
team.
back to the
football
Redskins,
team.
I bet you.
That'd be cool.
That's what I hear. Did you either one of you check out the new trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah. Whatever. It's a movie. It's coming out, whether we like it or not. How is this any different? How is this just not a straight up like reboot? Like, why are they going the requel route? Is it just to get us to want to see it because it has quote unquote legacy characters? I don't know.
Yeah, it's literally the same movie again, except for the accident looks different than the
Well, it's
first
just history is repeating itself. Scream came out. What followed Screamed? I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend. All these years later, with the success of Screams 5 and 6, guess what's happening? We're getting another I Know What You Did Last Summer, and now in production or pre-production, whatever the term you want to call it, it's greenlit, another Urban Legend. So it's just history repeating itself. They're all just trying to be Scream, but Scream is king. But I've not seen the trailer. I'm trying not to watch trailers anymore, but I'll still go.
Yeah, it doesn't spoil anything. It shows you it
doesn't.
You know, it's just a kind of longer version of what we already got.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at least with Urban Legend, it sounds like they're gonna modernize the legends part and have it come into like the digital world of, you know, modern urban legends. Whereas with I Know What You Did Last Summer, it just looks like another car accident. Like they haven't like modernized anything about it. So not every franchise is Scream or Halloween, but all these franchises are, you know, shooting their shot. So what can you
hit a boot?
I mean,
yeah,
they hit a boot.
Where's the foot? Where's the foot?
I mean, I will be there. I will go to the theater to see it, even though I talk shit on it. That's a movie I will go to see. But that means that if they're going in order, then that means The Faculty should be coming soon.
Oh, you know what?
It's right there.
You know what? That movie could actually work. Just get the newest, young, popular like stars in Hollywood, just like they did in the 90s. I'm telling you, that can work. So I don't hate that idea.
Bring Josh Hartnett back. Just saying.
Oh, bring him back as a professor, and you're good.
Bring him
as
back!
a professor.
You have to. They're like, has this ever happened before? And then he'll come out and be like, it's guaranteed to jack you up. Yeah. Is that teacher doing drugs?
No,
Yes, he
he's just
is.
haven't had
And
sex in 40 days and 40 nights. So poor
It's just-
Josh.
Yeah,
It's just pixie sticks. They're just pixie sticks.
It's just basic
that's
stuff.
it, man. Oh man. But yeah, I think that'll wrap up tonight's episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Judgment. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. And next week we're going to Manhattan, baby. We're going to New York. We're gonna get on a boat.
Vancouver.
And it's gonna be
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a scuba tank on because that's what Jason sounds like in that movie. And it's gonna be a good fucking time. Davey, as always, it is a pleasure having you on the channel.
Thanks
my
for
man.
having me.
Brett, same for you, my good man. Really appreciate you both coming and hanging out. If you're watching after the fact, let us know down below what you like or dislike about The New Blood. Thanks everybody for hanging out in the chat. Really, really do appreciate it. And I'll see you next week. Definitely go check out these guys the next upcoming days. We're a great community, and we're going to keep it that way. So, Davey, Brett, I'll see you in the next one. And, guys, have a scary night.